Be a math detective. Question number 1. The Adams family was going to buy a car for $5,800. The car dealer offered the Adams family two options for buying the car. They could pay the full amount in cash or they could pay $1,000 down and $230 a month for 24 months on the installment plan. How much more would they pay for the car on the installment plan? Number 1. Try and calculate the amount of money that they would have to pay for the installment plan. Number 2. Calculate the difference between the installment plan and the initial amount if they paid today. $1,000 plus $230 times 24 equals $6,520. $6,250 minus $5,800 equals $720 more for the installment plan.
Question number 2. Lisa Lily was the best runner in the 8th grade. One day she ran 100 meters in 40 seconds, 200 meters in 1 minute and 10 seconds, and 200 meters over low hurdles in 1.5 minutes. How many more seconds did it take her to run the 200 meters over low hurdles than it did to run the 200 meters dash? One. What information is important in this question? 2. How long did it take her to run 200 meters in seconds? To run the 200 meters, 1 minute equals 60 seconds plus 10 seconds equals 70 seconds. To run 200 meters with hurdles, 60 seconds plus 30 seconds equals 90 seconds. 90 seconds minus 70 seconds equals 20 seconds longer. Question number 3. 3 students have to write a makeup test. Mark scored 24 over 60 on his first test and 32 over 40 on his makeup test. Jake scored 35 over 70 on his first test and 54 over 60 on his makeup test. Marilyn scored 27 over 90 on her first test and 45 over 50 on her second test. A. Which student improved the most and by what percentage? B. If the teacher gives each student a final grade using 70% of the makeup test mark and 30% of the first test mark, what mark would each student receive? Who did the best overall? One. Make a chart of the percentage score on each test for each student as the following. Percentage for first test, percentage for second test difference. Mark, Jake, Marilyn. 2. If you forget how to do percentage, here's a hint. Divide the denominator into the numerator and multiply by 100%. 1. Try making another chart with percentage of each test like the following. 30% of first test, 70% of second test, sum final mark. Mark, Jake, Marilyn. Here is the answer A and answer B. Jake did the best overall. Question number 4. George, Sam, Andrew, and Brandon each had 4 dates to 4 different parish center dances with 4 different girls named Cheer, Connie, Melissa, and Kendra. On the second date, George dated Connie and Brandon dated Kendra. On the third date, Andrew went out with Melissa and Sam went out with Connie. Melissa went out with George and Cheer went out with Sam on the fourth date. What couples went out together on the first date if no pairs went out more than once? Make a chart to help you use logical reasoning. Cheer dated George, Brandon dated Melissa, Connie dated Andrew, Sam dated Kendra. Question number 5. A large piece of construction paper is 0.1 millimeter thick. It is cut in half and one piece is placed on the other to make a pile. These are cut in half and all 4 pieces are placed in a pile. These 4 are cut in half and placed in a pile, and the process is continued. After the pieces has been cut and piled for the 10th time, what is the height of the pile in centimeters? One. Try to draw a sketch of how many sheets are piled as the pile is cut each time. 2. Now, try to find a pattern in the numbers. 3. How many sheets will you have after the sheets are cut and piled 10 times? 4. How many centimeters high is this pile? Don't forget to change your millimeters to centimeters. 1 cut, 2 sheets, 2 cuts, 4 sheets, 3 cuts, 8 sheets, 4 cuts, 16 sheets. Up to 10 cuts, 2 raised to 10 sheets, 1024.01 equals 10.24 millimeters equals 1.24 centimeters. Question number 6. What is the sum of all the digits in the sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 99, 100. Note, sum of the digits, not the numbers. One. When all else fails, make a chart or a table. Start writing down the numbers in columns and rows. Example. 2. Now, examine the digits in the row horizontal. What do you notice about the digits? Try and find a pattern in the ones place. 3. Carry on to find a pattern in the tens place. 4. Don't forget about the number 100. Ten times 45 plus 10 times 45 plus 1 equals 901. 1 plus 10 times the sum of the digits 1 to 9 plus 10 times the sum of the digits 1 to 9 equals 901. Silver's cleaner decided to raise the price of dry cleaning a sports coat from $4 to $5. The same percentage increase was applied to dry cleaning a jacket. The old cost of dry cleaning a jacket was $10. What is the new cost of dry cleaning jacket? One. To find the percentage increase in the dry cleaning of a sports coat, set up a algebraic equation. 4 times x equals 5. 2. Now, what is the price of the new cost of dry cleaning a jacket? Let x% increase 4 times x equals 5. X equals 5 over 4 times 100% equals 125%. 10 times 125% equals $12.50 is the new cost of cleaning a jacket. Question number 8. A Christmas gift is tied with ribbon as shown. The bow requires 47 centimeters of ribbon. What is the total length of the ribbon in meters? One. How many faces or sides are on a cube? How long is the piece of ribbon on each side? Find the total length of the ribbon on the sides. 2. Now, the top and the bottom look like. What is the total length of the ribbon for the top and bottom? 3. Find the total length of all the ribbon in meters. On 4 sides, 20 centimeters of ribbon each equals 80 centimeters on the top and bottom. 0.5 times 10 centimeters equals 25 centimeters. 2 times 25 centimeters equals 50 centimeters. Total amount of ribbon, 47 centimeters plus 50 centimeters plus 80 centimeters equals 177 centimeters equals 1.77 meters. Question number 9. 4 strips of paneling 40 centimeters long and 4 centimeters wide are arranged to form a square. What is the area of the inner square in centimeters raised to 2? 1. Draw and label the diagram with the dimensions given. 2. Now find the inner dimensions of the paneling and find the area. Here is the answer. 36 raised to 2 equals 1,296 centimeters raised to 2. Question number 10. In the following diagram of the front view of the Great Pyramid, the measure of the angle PRQ is 120 degrees and the measure of the angle PST is 110 degrees. What is the measure of the angle RPS in degrees? Number 1. Do you remember how many degrees there are in a triangle or a straight line? 2. There are 180 degrees in a triangle. This is the sum of the angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. A straight line is 180 degrees. 3. Say your diagram was as the following. 180 degrees minus 150 degrees equals 30 degrees equals 4. Solve the problem. 180 degrees minus 120 degrees equals 60 degrees. 180 degrees minus 110 degrees equals 70 degrees. 60 degrees plus 70 degrees equals 130 degrees. 180 degrees minus 130 degrees equals 50 degrees. Question number 11. Mr. MacDonald recorded the test mark for his 8th grade class of 25 students. He used the marks recorded to calculate the average to be 72. Sandra's mark of 86 was incorrectly marked as 36. What was the correct average for the test? Number 1. What does Mr. MacDonald have to do to find the average mark of his class? Number 2. Average means the sum of the test marks divided by the number of students. So, what was the sum of all the tests? 3. After you have sum of all the tests, you can find the correct average by correcting Mr. MacDonald's sum and finding the correct average. X equals 25 equals 72x equals 1,800 equals the sum of all the grades 1,800 minus 36 plus 86 equals 1,850. 1,800 over 25 equals 74%. Question number 12. Chip said to Dale, "If you give me one acorn, then we will have an equal number of acorns." Dale replied with delight, "If you give me one acorn, then I will have double the number you have." What was the total number of acorns they have had in their tree? How many did Chip have and how many did Dale have? Number 1. Try different numbers that will satisfy the conditions given in the number. Number 2. The sum of the numbers of acorns is twice 6. Find out the how many Chips had and Dale had. Let C equals number of acorns Chip had and D equals number acorns Dale had. Then C plus 1 equals D minus 1. D equals factorials equals 2 open and close parentheses C minus 1. Solve to get C equals 5 and D equals 7. Question number 13. Bart Simpson decided to make a graph of his weekly training of $120 from his paper route. To make the size of each sector proportional to the amount distributed, what does the angle X in degrees have to be? One way to overcome this problem is to think of percentages. What is the percent of $15 out of the total $120 earnings? Number 2. Now, we know what percent of his total earning is. How many degrees are in a circle? Number 3. The percent of money he spends on music is how many degrees in the circle? $45 degrees percentages. $15 over $120 times 100% equals 12.5%. 360 degrees times 12.5% equals 45 degrees. Question number 14. Jane was walking the long way home from school. She started walking east. She walked 3 kilometers east when she met a dog. She ran back to the school and decided to take the alternative route. So, she walked north 4 kilometers to her home. If she had walked straight home from where she met the dog, how far would it have been to be her home? Number 1. Show diagram. Number 2. Do you remember how to find the missing side of a right triangle? Number 3. The Pythagorean Theorem says the hypotenuse, which is the longest side opposite the right angle, is equal to the square root of the sum of the squares of the other two sides. Z raised to 2 equals x raised to 2 plus y raised to 2. Number 4. How many additional meters would she have to walk? Four raised to 2 plus 3 raised to 3 equals blank raised to 2. 25 equals blank raised to 2. 5 kilometers equals blank. 3 kilometers plus 5 kilometers equals 8 kilometers. Question number 15. The Gailey's house has a pool with the shape as shown. They want to make a cover for it for the harsh winter. How much to the nearest cent are they going to have to spend on material if it costs $5 over meters raised to 2? Number 1. You must find the total area of the pool. Number 2. The pool can be divided into 3 different shapes. Number 3. The area of a circle is A equals pi times r raised to 2. Number 4. Find the total amount of money given that is cost $5 per meter squared. Total area equals 24 plus 2 pi plus 6 equals 36.28 meters squared. Cost equals $5 over meters times 36.28 meters sub greater than 2 equals $181.42. Question number 16. Lisa Simpson was in her math class. She was told to make a figure with 4 thumbtacks, an elastic band, and a piece of wood. She made the following figure. Her math teacher measured some of the sides of her figure and told Lisa to find the length of the side LM in millimeters. Can you help her? Number 1. You must use the Pythagorean Theorem to help Lisa. Number 2. Divide the line LM into 2 parts. Solve the distance of each part. Number 3. Don't forget to convert to millimeters. Pythagorean Theorem. X squared equals 8 squared plus 6 squared. X squared equals 64 plus 36. X equals 10 centimeters. LM equals 10 centimeters plus 5 centimeters equals 15 centimeters equals 150 millimeters. Y squared equals 3 squared plus 4 squared. Y equals 5 centimeters. Question number 17. Batman must solve the following problem to escape the Riddler. The midpoints of the side of a square are joined as shown. A fraction of the original square is shaded. What is the fraction? Can you help him? Divide the square into 4 equal parts. Can you see the answer? One over 4. Question number 18. Matrices at a zoo. He takes a picture of a 1-meter snake beside a brick wall. When he developed his picture, the 1-meter snake is 2 centimeters long and the wall is 4.5 centimeters high. What was the actual height of the brick wall in centimeters? Number 1. If the snake is 1 meter long in real life and 2 centimeters long in the picture, how high is the building if it is 4.5 centimeters long in the picture? 2. The easiest way to do this is to set up a ratio like 100 over 2 centimeters equals x over 4.5 centimeters. Solve for x, which is the height of the building. Snake is 1 meter long. 100 over 2 equals x over 4.5. X equals 450 over 2 equals 225 centimeters high. Question number 19. Joe's rich uncle gave him a loonie on his first day. On each birthday after that he doubled his previous gift. By the day after Joe's 8th birthday, what was the total amount of his uncle had given him? Number 1. Make a chart. First birthday, $1. Second birthday, $2. Third birthday, $4. And so on. Number 2. How much did he get in total? First birthday equals $1. Second birthday equals $2. Third birthday equals $4 to $8, $16, $32, $64, $128, and the total is $255 on his 8th birthday. Question number 20. Miss Smith, Miss Gracia, and Miss O'Leary all teach at St. Andrew Junior High School. One of the women is a mathematics teacher, one an art teacher, and one science teacher. The art teacher, an only child, has taught the least number of years. Miss Garcia, who married Miss Smith's brother, has taught more years than the mathematics teacher. Name the subject each woman teaches. Number 1. Try to limit the amount of possibilities for each teacher. Example, Miss Garcia can teach art because she has taught more years than the mathematics teacher, and the art teacher has taught the least number of years. Mathematics, Miss Smith. Science, Miss Garcia. Art, Miss O'Leary. Question number 21. Jim has 3 times as many comic books as Charles. Charles has 2/3 as many comic books as Bob. Bob has 27 comic books. How many comic books does Jim have? Number 1. The best way to approach this problem is to work backwards. Try starting with statement. If Bob has 27 comic books and Charles has 2/3 as many, how many does Charles have? Number 2. Jim has 3 times as many as Charles. So, how many comic books does Jim have? Number 3. If you need help in setting up questions, here's a start. 2/3 times number of Bob's comics equals number of Charles' comics. Now, do the same thing for Jim. 3 times number of Charles' comics equals number of Jim's comics. Two over 3 times 27 equals number of Charlie's comic book equals 18. Jim has 3 times 18 equals 54 comic books. Question number 22. Friendly's clothing store bought handkerchiefs 6 for $10 and sold them for $10. They made $60 profit. How many handkerchiefs did they sell? Number 1. First try and calculate how much friendlies paid for each handkerchief when they bought them and how much a customer paid for each handkerchief. You can set up algebraic expression to help you. 6p equals $10 and 4s equals $10. P equals price of handkerchiefs and S equals selling price of handkerchiefs. Find P and S. Number 2. Now, how can we tackle how many handkerchiefs they sold if the store made $60? One way to start is to set up an algebraic expression that will solve for the number of handkerchiefs. If the store pays $10 over 6 for a handkerchief and sell it for $2.50, then how many should it sell make $60? Open and close parentheses, S minus P times X equals $60. Solve this algebraic expression for X, where X is the number of handkerchiefs. $6 for $10, 1 for $10 over 6, 1 for $2.50, 4 for $10, X $2.50 minus X $10 over 6 equals $60. 0.83x equals $60. X equals 72 handkerchiefs. Question number 23. You, in your new red Porsche, decided to make a 160-kilometer trip to Carolina Beach, traveling at 80 km per hour. You make the return trip traveling at a rate of 48 km per hour. What was your average speed for the entire trip? Number 1. In order to find the average speed, you must find the total time it took you to travel to and from Carolina Beach. Number 2. Remember, rate is equals to distance over time. Number 3. The average speed is the total distance divided by the total time. $160 kilometers over 80 kilometers per hour equals 2 hours. 160 kilometers over 48 kilometers per hour equals 3.33 hours. Average speed is equals to, open and close parentheses, 160 plus 16, open and close parentheses, 0 over open and close parentheses, 2 plus 3.33 open and close parentheses equals 60 kilometers per hour. Question number 24. The Olan Center Gym has 2 kilograms and 5 kilograms discs for weightlifting. Due to their budget this year, they only have 14 discs in all. The total weight of the 2 kilogram disc is the same as the total weight for the 5 kilogram disc. What is the total weight of all the discs? Number 1. Set a variable x equals to the number of 2 kilogram discs. If x is the number of 2 kilogram discs, what is the number of 5 kilogram discs? Number 2. The number of 5 kilogram discs is 14 minus x equals, open and close parentheses, total number of discs minus the number of 2 kilogram discs. Number 3. We know that the weight of the 2 kilogram disc equals to the weight of 5 kilogram disc. So, 2 kilogram times x equals 5 kilogram, open and close parentheses, 14 minus x. Solve for x. Number 4. What is the total weight? Number 5. Total weight, 2 kilograms times number of 2 kilogram discs plus 5 kilograms times number of 5 kilogram discs. Find out how many discs were each weight 2 kilogram and 5 kilogram. X equals number of 2 kilogram discs, 14 minus x equals number of 5 kilogram discs. 2 kilogram equals 5 kilogram, open and close parentheses, 14 times x. 2 kilogram times x equals 5 kilogram, open and close parentheses, 14 minus x. 2 kilogram times x equals 70 kilogram minus 5 kilogram times x. 7 kilograms times x equals 70 kilograms. X equals 10. 10 equals number of 2 kilogram discs. 4 equals number of 5 kilogram discs. Total weight equals 2 kilogram times 10 plus 5 times 4 equals 40 kilogram. Question number 25. Bugs Bunny has 3 carrots of length 10 centimeters, 12 centimeters, and 15 centimeters. How can he use these carrots to mark off a length of 17 centimeters? Try to think of a good solution. One way is to lay the 12 centimeters and 15 centimeters carrots end to end. Then lay the 10 centimeters carrot next to the other two and mark off the distance. Question number 26. Who am I? The names of my mother, my father, my brother, my sister, and me is no particular order are Sandy, Sharon, Pat, Jennifer, and Connie. Pat is younger than I am older than Connie. Sharon is younger than Jennifer. This is a reasoning problem. Use the clues to figure out the problem. You must be a girl. Your brother's Pat is younger than you. Connie is a younger sister. Jennifer must be the mother. You are Sharon. Question number 27. The points A, B, C, D, and E are located on a straight line in order. The distance from A to E is 20 centimeters. The distance from A to D is 15 centimeters. The distance from B to E is 10 centimeters. C is halfway between B and B. What is the distance from B to C? Number 1. What is the distance from D to E? Number 2. What is the distance from B to D? Number 3. What is the distance from D to C? DE equals 5 centimeters, DE equals 10 centimeters, BC equals 2.5 centimeters. Question number 28. Bob is reading 445-page book. He has already read 157 pages. If he reads 24 pages a day, how long will it take him to finish the book? B. Bob read 157 pages of a 445 pages book. He finished the rest in 9 days. How many pages did he average each day while completing the book? Number 1. How many pages are in the book? Number 2. How many pages has Bob read? Number 3. How fast does he read? Number 4. How many pages does Bob have left to read? Number 5. If Bob has 48 pages left to read, how many days would it take? Number 6. How should you determine the number of days it will take to read 288 pages? B. Number 1. Try using what you learned in Part A to solve B. A. 445 minus 157 equals 288 pages left. 288 over 24 equals 12. It will take 12 days to finish the book. B. 288 over 9 equals 32 pages a day. Question number 29. Pioneer Video is giving away free movie to anyone who can solve this puzzle. Place the number 1 to 9 in the square so that none of the rows, columns, or diagonals have the same sum. Olivia won a free movie. What was her solution? This is a trial and error problem. You must first try one set and then add up the rows and columns and diagonals. If it works, you've found an answer. Here is the answer. Question number 30. Homer Simpson entered a pie-eating contest at the county fair. Homer was determined to win and went into training for 6 days. Each day, he ate 4 more pies than the day before. Homer ate 150 pies while in training. How many pies did he eat each day? Number 1. Make a guess then check your guess. Number 2. If Homer ate 1 pie the first day, how many would he eat the second day? Number 3. If he ate 10 pies on the first day, how many would he have eaten altogether at the end of the 6 days? Number 4. Would guessing the Homer ate 20 pies on the first day be a good guess? Try another number. First equals 15, second equals 19, third equals 23, fourth equals 27, fifth equals 31, sixth equals 35. Total 155. Question number 31. Belgium cheese costs $1.70 for 1/2 kilograms. How much will 2 1/2 kilograms of cheese cost? Number 1. Set up a proportional equation. Number 2. $1.70 over 1/2 kilograms equals x over 2.5 kilograms. Solve for x. $1.70 over 0.5 equals x over 2.5. 0.5x equals 4.25 over 0.5. X equals $8.50. Question number 32. The area of one side of the box is 120 centimeters squared. The area of another side of the box is 72 centimeters squared. The area of the top of the box is 60 centimeters squared. What is the volume of the box? Number 1. Find the dimension of the cube, the length, width, and height. Number 2. Now you can find the volume. Remember, the volume of the cube is L times width times height. Question number 33. Yosemite Sam built a square fence using 48 posts which enclose a square field. He placed the posts 5 meters apart. What is the area of the field bounded by the fence? Number 1. There will be a fence post in each corner of the field. Number 2. How many posts are on each side of the field? Number 3. If there is 5 meters between each pair of posts, what is the length of a side of the square? Number 4. What is the area? Remember, A equals length times width. 5. What are the units? On each side, 48 over 4 equals 12 posts. 4 are shared corner posts. Open and close parentheses, 12 minus 1 times 5 equals 55 meters on each side. There are 12 minus 1, 5 meter section on each side. Area equals 55 meters times 55 meters equals 3025 meters squared. Question number 34. Every positive integer can be expressed as the sum of 4 or fewer squared numbers. Note, you can use the same integer more than once. Example, 5 equals 1 times 1 plus 2 times 2. 101 equals 4 times 4 plus 6 times 6 plus 7 times 7. 170 equals 2 times 2 plus 6 times 6 plus 7 times 7 plus 9 times 9. Try to write 83 as the sum of 3 squared numbers. Number 1. This is a trial and error problem. You must practice your square numbers. Try different combinations. Number 2. After you have found one combination, see if you can find any other. Number 1. 1 times 1 plus 1 times 1 plus 9 times 9. Number 2. 3 times 3 plus 5 times 5 plus 7 times 7. Number 3. 4 times 4 plus 3 times 3 plus 7 times 7 plus 3 times 3. Question number 35. The Canadian record for the most consecutive sit-ups is 17,000 in 7 hours and 27 minutes. At a rate of 40 sit-ups per minute, how many hours and minutes would it take to tie the record? Is this rate better than the Canadian record? For 1, how many sit-ups would you have to do to tie the record? Number 2, if you can do 40 sit-ups per minute, how many minutes does it take to do 17,000? Number 3, to take the second part, what is the rate of sit-ups over minute of the Canadian record? Whose rate is better? $17,000 over 7 times 60 plus 27 equals 38.3 sit-ups per minute record. 17,000 over 40 equals 425 minutes equals 7 hours and 5 minutes. Your rate is better. Question number 36. On an algebra test, I had 7 times as many correct answers as incorrect ones. There were 120 items on the test. How many did I get right? Number 1. One way to approach this problem is with algebraic expression. Let x equals number of incorrect answer. What does the number of correct answer equal in terms of x? Number 2. The number of items on the test equals the number of incorrect answers plus the number of incorrect answers. X equals number of incorrect answer 7 times equals number of incorrect answer 120 equals 8x. 8x equals 15 correct. 7 times 15 equals 105 correct. Question number 37. If a pile grapefruit in a pyramid with 1 grapefruit in the first layer, 4 in the second layer from the top, 9 in the third layer, and 16 on the fourth layer, how many grapefruit will I need to make a pile with 10 layers? Number 1. Is there a pattern in piling the grapefruit? Number 2. Make a chart and find the sum. First, 1, second, 4, third, 9, and so on. One equals 4, 2 equals 9, 3 equals 16, 4 equals 25, 5 equals 36, 6 equals 49, 7 equals 64, 8 equals 81, 9 equals 100. Total of 385 grapefruit. Question number 38. Big Bird wants to make a picture frame for his picture of Elmo. He is given the piece of plywood shown. He wants to make it in a shape, the shaded area. In order to do so, he must connect all the midpoints of each side of a rectangle. What is the area of a piece of wood if he will be using for the picture frame? What is the perimeter of the inside of frame? Number 1. Try to decide how you could break up the figure and find the area. Number 2. How would you find the perimeter? You must know the length of the side. Number 3. Hint. Divide the figure by connecting the midpoints of each side by a line. Now, do you see? X squared equals 2 squared plus 1.5 squared. X equals 2.5. Perimeter equals 4 open and close parentheses. 2.5 equals 10 centimeters. Area of a triangle equals 1/2 times BH equals 0.5 times 2 times 1.5 equals 1.5. Area equals 4 open and close parentheses. 1.5 equals 6 centimeters raised to 2. Question number 39. The length of a rectangle is 4 times as long as its width. The area of the rectangle is 100 meters squared. What are the dimensions of the rectangle? Number 1. You could try by guessing the length and width, but that may take a long time. Try and solve this problem by setting one dimension equal to x. What is the other variable equal to? Number 2. If the width is equals to x, then what is the length equals to in term of x? Number 3. X equals width. 4 times x equals length. Now, try and find the variable x by solving for the area 100 meters squared. X equals width, 4x equals length. X times 4x equals 100 meters squared. 4x times x equals 100. X times x equals 25. X equals 5 equals width. 4x equals 20 equals length. Question number 40. On a flight from Sydney, Nova Scotia to Saskatoon, Sask, the plane averaged 760 km per hour. On the return trip from Saskatoon to Sydney, the same plane averaged 904 km per hour. The distance from Sydney to Saskatoon is approximately 4,112 kilometers. How much longer was the trip west than the trip east? How long was each flight in a minute? Number 1. Do you remember what the rate is equal to in terms of distance and time? Number 2. Rate equals distance over time. Number 3. You are asked to find the times of the two trips. What does time equal in terms of distance and rate? 4. Use the times you calculated to find how much longer the trip is going to west. Time equals 4,112 over 760 equals 5.4 hours. 5.4 hours times 60 equals 324 minutes. Time equals 4,112 over 904 equals 4.55 hours equals 273 minutes. Sydney to Saskatoon equals 324 minutes. Saskatoon to Sydney equals 273 minutes. The trip west is 51 minutes longer. Question number 41. What's the number I'm thinking of? It is greater than 44 squared and less than 45 squared. 5 squared is one of each factor and it is a multiple of 13. Number 1. This is a trial and error problem. Answering this question will help you. A. What is the value of 44 squared? B. What is the value of 45 squared? C. What is a factor? D. What does a multiple mean? (2025) greater than x greater than 1936. 1950 equals 13 times 150. Question number 42. There are three circles. A equals the largest, B equals the middle-sized one, C equals the smallest. Circle A has a diameter of 20 centimeters. The smaller circles are drawn so that the radius of circle A is the diameter of circle B, and the radius of circle B is the diameter of circle C. What is the area of circle C? Here is a diagram of the circles. Do you know the area yet? (10 centimeters equals diameter B. 5 centimeters equals diameter C. A equals pi times r squared equals pi, open and close parentheses, 2.5 centimeters times 2.5 centimeters equals 6.25 times pi centimeters squared. Question number 43. What is the surface area of the first solid figure? Number 1. What is the surface area? Number 2. Divide the figure into separate sections and find the total surface area of each section. Area of sides equals 3 times 4 minus 1 times 1 minus 3 times 1 equals 8. Area of front and back, 3 times 4 equals 12. Area of top and bottom, 3 times 4 equals 12. Total equals 2 times 8 plus 2 times open and close parentheses 12 plus 2 times open and close parentheses 12 equals 64 centimeters squared. Question number 44. The Earth is about 1.49 times 10 raised to 8 kilometers from the Sun and about 3.84 times 10 raised to 5 kilometers away from the moon. The distance from the Earth to the Sun is about how many times as great as the distance from the Earth to the moon? None. Question number 45. Charlotte and Angie went on a vacation to Surrey, BC together. They recorded their expenses and decided to share them equally at the end of the trip. Given the data below, how much does Angie owe Charlotte? Number 1. How much does each girl have to pay in order to split the cost? Number 2. How much did each girl pay? How much does Angie owe Charlotte? Total, $54.77 plus $78.20 plus $38.25 plus $39.50 equals $210.72. 210.72 divided by 2 equals $105.36. Angie owes $132.97 minus $105.36 equals $27.61. Question number 46. My father is 4 times as old as me. In 20 years, he will be only twice as old as me. How old is my father and how old am I? X equals age of daughter. 4x equals father's age. 4x plus 20 equals 2, open and close parentheses, x plus 20. 4x plus 20 equals 2x plus 40. 2x equals 20, x equals 10. I am 10 and my father is 40. Question number 47. Look for a pattern. B. What is the pattern? Look at the 3 examples. Do you see a pattern? A. 255 over 256. B. Open and close parentheses 2 raised to n minus 1 over 2 raised to n. Question number 48. If Brandon walks 2.5 kilometers in 12 minutes, how far can he walk in half an hour in meters at the same rate? Set up a proportional equation. If he walks 2.5 kilometers in 12 minutes, then he walks x kilometers in 30 minutes. (2.5 over 12 equals x over 30. X equals 6.25 kilometers equals 6.25 times 10 raised to 3 meters. Question number 49. When Malcolm was visiting his grandpa's farm, he saw that the farm only raised hens and hogs. Malcolm counted 38 heads and 100 feet in the backyard. How many hens and how many hogs did his grandpa have in barnyard? Number 1. Could Malcolm only be looking at hens? Number 2. Could all the animals be hogs? Number 3. If Malcolm saw 10 hens and 28 hogs, how many legs would he count? Number 4. Try making a list of numbers of hens and hogs on the number of legs. (26 hens and 12 hogs). Question number 50. 4 men were shipwrecked on an island. Having no food, they went to work gathering pineapples. After gathering pineapples, they were tired and all fell asleep. After another while, one of the men awoke and was very hungry, so he ate 1/3 of the pineapples. minus more than his proper share. He then went back to sleep. The second man awoke and in hungry, ate 1/3 of the remaining pineapples and went back to sleep. The third man did the same. When the fourth man awoke, he took only his rightful share on the remaining pineapples. Then there were 6 pineapples left. How many pineapples did the men gather? Number 1. If the fourth man took 1/4 of the pineapples, what fraction did he leave? Number 2. The 6 remaining pineapples represent what part of the pineapples left by the fourth man? Number 3. If 3/4 of the pineapples equals to 6, 1/4 of the pineapples equals what? Number 4. How many pineapples were there before the fourth man took his shares? Number 5. Try working backwards. 6 pineapples left. Man fourth took 1/4 equals 2. 6 plus 2 equals 8. Third man took 1/3 equals to what? And so on. First man took 1/3 equals to what? 27 pineapples. Question number 51. Find the average rainfall in Vancouver in the year 1995. Round your answer to the nearest tenth. Number 1. How would you calculate the average? Number 2. What was the total rainfall for the year? 5.8 centimeters.